Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our guest, as you know, one of the things that I've dedicated my life to after leaving show business for this profession was to attempt to rid the world, I guess, but really I was focusing on the United States, because you must clean up your own backyard first, is what I always said. And I have been fighting the good fight in the war on Christmas. For a while, it looked like I had won. There was a town in Wisconsin years ago that had sung Silent Night and did not include Jesus in it. And so I thought, I've won. There was a retail outlet that printed more Happy Holidays signs than they had the year before, though they had always said Happy Holidays, and I thought I had won. And then I came across this clip with Judge Jeanine talking to Eric Trump and his baby and his wife, whose names escape me, and everything was shattered.
Eric and I were talking about what's going on with impeachment and the FISA and all that. But will you guys be able to just forget about all of it and really enjoy the fact that you really are part of the first family? You are the first family. I mean, you've done wonderful things for this country. We now don't have the political correctness that we used to.
Pause it for 1 second, and I'm going to go back a little bit, but I just want to say, it is nice that Judge Jeanine feels that she needs to, make these folks realize, to a certain extent, this is about you as well, right? Like you are the first family, because this family, very well known for not really sort of taking in what their privilege is or what their status might be. They're so reticent to assume any status or privilege that it's nice to see that they're being encouraged to do so. But go ahead.
I mean, you've done wonderful things for this country. We now don't have the political correctness that we used to. I mean, people are actually saying Merry Christmas.
You can say Merry Christmas again.
Yes,
Isn't that so nice, Jeanine?
I love it. I love Christmas trees. I love Santa over here. I mean, how do you feel that your father has done all of that, Eric?
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible. I mean, you no longer, I have to say Allah Akbar, and you can say Merry Christmas again. And you couldn't before, because, let's face it, there was a black guy, and he was president, and he would prevent us all from saying Merry Christmas.
Allah Akbar, say it, devil!
He was a secret Muslim and made it impossible for us to do this. And yes, during that era, I had overjoy. Joy was flowing. And then to hear that from Jeanine Pirro. However, within 24 hours, apparently, there must have been some major turn, because we're informed by Fox and Friends and Dennis Prager, Dean Dennis Prager, that the war on Christmas is back on. Here he is. Here is the scholar and dean, Dennis Prager.
27 minutes before the top of the hour. We've been telling you about this movie for quite a long time. Dennis Prager, radio talk show host and founder of PragerU, joins us now to talk about not only the success of your movie, No Safe Spaces, but also talk about the need to say Merry Christmas. You're a religious scholar. Why should something like that matter?
Because this country, and I'm saying this as a religious Jew, I want to make that clear, this country is founded on Judeo-Christian principles. God is the source of our rights. That is in the Declaration of Independence. In God we trust is one of the mottos of this country. I know that secular intellectuals think that God is irrelevant to morality, God is irrelevant to meaning, God is irrelevant to human rights, God is irrelevant to freedom. But the founders and Americans until about the 1970s all thought that, nearly all, let's put it that way. I am deeply worried about the radical secularization of America, and the obvious arena, most obvious perhaps, is changing Christmas into holiday. Kids no longer have Christmas vacation, holiday vacation. Companies no longer have Christmas parties, holiday parties. And, of course, it's happy holidays, not Merry Christmas. I would like to know why it's not inclusive. I'm a Jew. Christmas is not my religious holiday. It's my nation's holiday. It's a national holiday. Why am I excluded if you invite me to a Christmas party? What is not inclusive about that?
You're excluded from my Christmas party.
He agrees with you. Listen to this.
And by the way, under the Trump administration, you'll be saying Merry Christmas again. We are going to say Merry Christmas again.
Remember two things. Number one, I said we're going to be saying Christmas again.
They don't use the word Christmas because it's not politically correct. You go to department stores and they'll say Happy New Year and they'll say other things. Well, guess what? We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Okay. Now, clearly, there's a lot of disinformation in the war on Christmas. One hand, Judge Janine says that we have lost, we've been vanquished. Then Prager says, no, the forces allied against Christmas have won. And then President Trump says, we're going to win. And if Prager's correct, then promise unkept by President Trump. But if President Trump is correct, then Prager's lying to us. And I would add, I don't think he is a religious scholar. My understanding is that he went to Brooklyn College with a major in history and Middle Eastern studies. Now, that's not the same as religion, but that's not important. But here's Dennis Prager going on and saying that
He listened to Ask Dr. Laura a lot in the 90s.
Right, exactly.
That's his
we are or not
training.
saying Merry Christmas. And this is just absurd. I mean, aside from the fact that, the Declaration of Independence is not our Constitution. If something's not in our Constitution that was in the Declaration of Independence, guess what? That was probably one of the most conscious decisions that one could make in terms of how we wanted to launch this country, as it were. It is.
I don't know that Judeo-Christian values were a thing back then either.
Well, I mean, I think Judeo-Christian values existed. Of course they did.
Were people talking about it in that way?
Well, they were theists, some of them. And I don't know if they would say those words. But the point is that there was a myriad of different things. The Puritans outlawed celebration of Christmas. Now, that's the other thing. The idea that Christmas is in some way a substitute for saying, like, if you're anti-Christmas, you're anti-religion. Well, that's fundamentally untrue. The Christmas tree is a pagan symbol.
That's right.
It's not Judeo-Christian at all. In fact, you will find...
Did you learn that at Brooklyn College?
It's not hard to find big-time Christians who do not celebrate Christmas in this way. They find it grotesque. They find it just to be consumerist and whatnot. I mean, all of what I'm saying is, of course, probably exerting too much. I'm dedicating too much air to it.
Way too much seriousness here.
But honestly,
what we have here is a syncretic religion of Christianity and capitalism. We all know that.
Yes, that's correct. And I would also add, it's so sad that they're going to keep going back to this. Like, I mean, on some level, it really is. It's indicative. And I haven't monitored this, but the more war against Christmas stuff you have, the more they're trying to avoid talking about stuff. And that may be an impeachment thing. And maybe over this week, you're going to hear just like a boatload of war on Christmas stuff. And so watch out, folks. If you're out there and you're singing Christmas songs, but you're changing the lyrics in some way to be inclusive, watch out, because you may end up becoming a national story. And enjoy.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get the mistletoe ban passed soon, I believe.
I mean, personally, I have my own personal war on Christmas. I have my public one, and then I have my own personal one. So, but with that said,